So I'm pretty much set. What do you have for me?
Any questions from board members? Fredericks?
Lieutenant, how many officers are assigned to your post?
My post has 25, and then we have 20 on the road.
20 on the road?
Correct, sir, yes.
So I divide that by 4, so you've got 5 on the road at any one time, more or less.
Yes.
How large is your jurisdiction?
It's 2 counties.
Two counties.
2 counties. It's both Monroe County and Lenawee County. So if you use that figure 5, figure 3 here, 2 over there. That's pretty much how it's been. And then we have so those are our general complaint cars, are the 20. And then you factor in our full-time traffic enforcement car. We have 2 of those actually. We have one on the day shift and one on the afternoon shift. So 22 technically on patrol.
Okay, that's what I was trying to understand, because we have the sheriff's department who's down here, and they're sort of the first guys here
Yes.
at an accident, along with our fire chief and the rest of the folks, depending upon whether it's personal injury or what it is. I appreciate all this information. I haven't had a chance to digest it all, but
Sure.
when we talk about 5 guys on patrol, more or less, they're pretty busy.
Oh yeah.
I'm not surprised at the crashes at the intersection. These intersections have been the same thing for 25 years. Stewart Road jumps up and down only because they changed the lights up there, and they also changed some of the turn signals up there. So people weren't used to that, and they kept running into each other. I appreciate all the things that you bring to the table. I've been a supporter of the Michigan State Police for a long time. We used to give them dogs. And we've been to one graduation when the dog was in the handler, and they kept giving us reports on what she was doing all the time. I just think that you're spread pretty thin.
Oh, absolutely. And we're hiring.
Again, the point is, you're working in cooperation with the sheriff's department, you're working in cooperation with the various police departments around here, and I think that that's a good thing.
Yes.
And it's important that we understand that you're pretty short sometimes. Tress is doing what she's doing, familiar with a lot of her work. I know Jeff Hart for a long time, and what he did. So the state police have done a great job. It's just you're so short, and we're so big, and you're splitting it into two counties.
Yes.
So your guys you're on the road a lot, and I just thank you for what you've done, what you're doing, how you're coming forward. I just wish you had 40 instead of 20.
So do I. It'd be a lot easier to do the schedule.
Mrs. Tenenberry?
Well, to tag on to that, I don't think anyone expects the Michigan State Police to handle our policing in Bedford Township, but I'm glad you're here tonight because there's a lot of misinformation going around Bedford Township because of our ongoing discussion about whether to continue to contract with the Sheriff's Department or develop our own police department. And some of the things that people have said to me that if we develop our own police department, the state police doesn't work well with local police departments. And I'd like you to either confirm that or clear that misinformation up.
Sure.
Do you work with other local police departments in Monroe and Lenawee County?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think we have a really good relationship with all the police agencies in the county, specifically our Sheriff's Department, Monroe PD, Dundee, Erie, of course, Chief Ansel's here. Basically, every Carlton, I can go on down the list. I mean, there's a lot of times where we provide the smaller agencies some detective assistance when necessary. We also have taken over investigations that were maybe a little bit more cumbersome, and need a lot more hours dedicated to them. So we've done those things too.
Okay, good. I just wanted to clear that up. And you mentioned early in your presentation about all these specialized programs. Are those provided to local police departments with no cost?
Yeah.
And is there liability to the locality?
No. Basically, the only liability would be for for our officers and our agency, depending on what actions we were to take. I'll use the example of Lenawee County, where they did away with their SWAT team. They had a countywide SWAT team. They weren't getting the number of calls, and of course there's a lot of training that goes along with having that specialized service. So they did away with it, and they use our emergency support team exclusively. So everything that, and whenever there's a call of a barricaded gun or anything like that in Lenawee County, we respond.
Okay. The other comment that comes up quite often is that the only reason that the state police is visible in Bedford Township is because this is where you meet your ticket quota. Do you have a ticket quota?
We do not. I'll speak a little bit more on that. I have to be perfectly honest with you. Up until a certain time, we pretty much neglected your township. And I'm not saying that it was through any fault of our own, but I think Mr. Frederick hit it on the head. I mean, there's only so much you can do with so many people. But when you really look at the statistics and the number of crashes and the number of and the type of activity, it just made sense for us to come down there and assist. Now, we were at no time, I don't think I ever, made any type of promise that we could provide the level of service that the sheriff's office provides on calls. We can't. I mean, that's who you contract with. That's your primary law enforcement agency. That's your go-to people. Now, what we can do to help, though, is we can supplement their efforts. And that's what we've been doing through that traffic enforcement.
Oh, good. Well, you've answered quite a few of my questions in your presentation. I just had one more the overweight truck enforcement. Do you have any ability to help with that or work with that? Or
We do. Now, the issue comes with that's through our Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division, or CVED. You identify them as motor carrier officers. The issue that we have with them is you have to remember they are federally funded. So federal regulations require where they go. So that's why they're primarily on freeways and trunk lines. Those are the two main roads that they go through. So if there's a trunk line in Bedford Township, like 151, then we would be there. Anything else? I don't know about the county roads specifically. I mean, I think they do that on a complaint basis.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
I have a question.
Ms. Hirschberg?
I just want to understand this Monroe Post clearance rates.
Yes.
Does that mean that all of the offenses have to be cleared by the Monroe Post? I mean, just for an example, the first one, murder, manslaughter, 6. Did you have to clear all of those?
So if we look at so clearance rates are specific to the actual agency. So these are just the Monroe Post clearance rates. So that's I think you're seeing the criminal offenses as 6, but we had 1. I didn't put the number of homicides that we investigated. Yeah, those are just the percentage of rates. Basically, that's the amount of times that we're able to clear a complaint, either successfully through an arrest or through exceptional clearance.
Okay, but it's only the ones through your post. It's not all of these through the county.
Correct. Our numbers are included in the county numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you look at that slide, just view that as the total number of higher level crimes in the county and the percent change. If it's an increase from last year or decrease, that's where that comes from. 2016-17.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more discussion? Well, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it, and all the information's great, and I appreciate you guys' hard work.
Thank you, Mr. Conley. Appreciate it. Thank you to the board members for your time too. Appreciate that.
Thank you.